Welcome to the Black Liberation.Tech podcast, brought to you by Jordan Nuance LLC and hosted by Dr. Renée Jordan. This podcast is a accumulation of Dr. Jordan's dissertation work and her passion for empowering Latinas, Afro-Latinas, Black women, and girls to navigate the academic and professional worlds with confidence and success. Whether you're a mother or a guardian guiding a child through grades 6 through 12, an undergrad or grad student, someone working on a dissertation or thesis, or simply looking to carve out your niche in the career landscape, this podcast is for you. Each episode, Dr. Jordan shares her story, offers invaluable advice, and provides practical coaching to help you thrive in school, work, and beyond. Join our community on patreon.com/Black Liberation.Tech and become a member for as low as $5 per month. As a member, you'll gain exclusive access to live recordings, impromptu academic and career coaching, and a network of like-minded individuals committed to mutual support and success. You're also welcome to follow Black Liberation.Tech on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and LinkedIn. Visit black-liberation.tech for even more information on Dr. Jordan's adventure in Inglés o Español. Tune in, get inspired, and let's embark on this journey together. Welcome to Black Liberation.Tech, where your success story begins. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Black Liberation.Tech podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Renée Jordan, and today I'm going to take a look at using AI as an assistant once again. And for the sake of conversation, I'm going to take a look at the lessons that I have developed for how to navigate specifically C1.1, so cultivating curiosity and challenging assumptions. And so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with those who are in my Patreon. Those who are in my Patreon will be able to follow along. And for those who are on YouTube, you'll have to wait until I edit the video to see exactly what I'm talking about. But you are also welcome to go to Black Liberation.Tech, and that's actually Black-Liberation.Tech. And you can go ahead and go to the lessons section. And at the lessons section, you're going to select under how to navigate. In the career section, you're going to select cultivating curiosity and challenging assumptions. So with this lesson, I actually start off with a story. And once again, if you are a member of my Patreon, you'll be able to see this live. And the people in the story are actually main characters that I have sketches for. And I'm going to go ahead and start by taking a look at their sketches briefly. So we have Jasmine and Ebony in this story. And so Jasmine Johnson to be specific, I'm going to take a look at her synopsis. So Jasmine is a 28-year-old MarTech publicist. So that's marketing technology publicist with a unique heritage stemming from an African-American father and a mother who immigrated from Mexico with Native American ancestry. She calls Panama City, Florida, her home and plays a pivotal role in the development of the open educational resource aiming to empower Latinas, Afro-Latinas, Black girls, and women by enhancing their digital literacies and technical skills. So you can go to Black-Liberation.Tech to view the rest of Jasmine's character sketch. I'm going to hop over to Ebony and Ebony Peoples. So Ebony Peoples, a 21-year-old African-American hailing from Hampton, Virginia, is a pivotal contributor to the development of the open educational resource focused on empowering Latinas, Afro-Latinas, Black girls, and women in digital literacies and technical skills. Armed with a bachelor's degree in political science from an HBCU and embarking on her master's in public administration at an Ivy League university, Ebony's journey from academia to grassroots organizer brings a unique perspective to the project. All right. So with all of that being said, I'm going to go back to the story. All right. And once again, the title of this lesson is Cultivating Curiosity and Challenging Assumptions. Here we have an image that was created using ChatGPT's Del E. And so here we go. Story time. Bridging Paths. A dialogue between Jasmine and Ebony. Setting: Jasmine and Ebony are seated in a cozy, quiet cafe. The early morning light filters through large windows, casting a warm glow on their corner table. They both lean in, excited to exchange ideas on technology, career journeys, and the challenges and triumphs they face. Jasmine, sipping her coffee, a slight smile on her face. You know, Ebony, it's funny. It feels like we both ended up in tech-heavy roles, but neither of us came up in an environment that actually prepared us for it. I mean, my schools weren't even close to teaching us the right skills. I feel like I was dragged from the analog to the digital, especially when it comes to public relations. Half the time, I'm digging through traditional media like newspapers and magazines. You know, it's almost like rewinding to understand the new. Ebony, nodding with a thoughtful expression. Yeah, I get that. I mean, I remember starting out with PowerPoint in elementary school. They had us doing the basics, but even back then, I didn't wait around. I tried to figure things out on my own if the teacher wasn't getting to it fast enough. I think that's where my knack for technology really started. Just teaching myself stuff because it seems like no one else was going to, you know? Jasmine, smiling, leaning back in her chair. Totally. You learn by doing. I feel like our educational system has kids consuming tech, but rarely creating with it. Like, they're on iPads from the time they're in kindergarten, but nobody shows them how to build with tech, let alone how to use it in ways that breaks new ground. And then when I was studying international relations, we talk about digital divides, tech access in developed and developing worlds. But then I look around and think, this digital literacy gap isn't just global. It's right here within our own communities, and we're just starting to feel it. Ebony, smiling wryly. True, true. And that divide, it's real. I've been running into the same thing at the Ivy League too. There's tech everywhere, but for so many folks from communities like mine, it's all catch up. Like, we're supposed to use it instantly, but no one taught us how to truly harness it. When I came to work, I already knew how to use Excel, PowerPoint, Microsoft Word from before. It wasn't always something I used every day, but I had those skills down because, like you said, I figured it out on my own. The basics, they're useful. But for the stuff I didn't know, I'd either just look it up on YouTube or ask around. It's funny, sometimes I'll find out about new apps just because my friends are using them. Ebony, nodding. Exactly. I felt the same way about Clubhouse. I mean, when it started, I was like, okay, so people are just talking. No video, no nothing. But then everyone was on it. And it made me think maybe the simplest ideas are what people crave, especially during the pandemic. It was all about finding that connection, right? So I'll download it. And yeah, suddenly I'm in this huge room of voices. It's wild, but it keeps me close to people during a time when we are so far apart. That's the kind of thing with technology. It's always shifting, and like you said, there's always a reason behind it. Jasmine, leaning in thoughtfully. It's true. And here we are, both navigating spaces that weren't built for us, and yet we're pushing through. For me, it's about rewriting narratives. So much of the digital world defaults to a white-centric perspective, and I feel like I'm on a mission to change that. I want people like us to see themselves, to feel represented. It's a fight sometimes to get the industry to take different narratives seriously, but that's what keeps me going. Ebony, in agreement. That's the same thing driving me too. I want tech to work for communities that have been left out. And a lot of that means showing people that they can master it, that digital literacy isn't out of reach. It's one thing to go to an Ivy League and learn all this theory, but it's another thing to get out there and actually teach folks in our neighborhoods how to make this stuff work for them. I want to build bridges, make it accessible. That's what gets me up in the morning. Jasmine, smiling inspired. I knew we'd get along. We're both bridge builders in our own way, and I think there's a lesson here for people who want to bring tech to their lives and careers, but feel like they're behind or not ready. Sometimes all you need is curiosity and the willingness to go against the grain. Ebony, grinning, and a little bit of independence, right? Not waiting on someone else to show you the way. If there's one thing I've learned, it's that you've got to keep moving, keep learning, whether it's in a classroom, from a mentor, or just figuring things out as you go. You've got to be in control of your own growth in tech and in life. Jasmine, nodding, raising her coffee cup as if in a toast. Here's to that, to owning our narratives, building bridges, and staying curious. Ebony raises her cup too, laughing, to keeping up with the latest on our own terms and making sure that when we look around, we see people like us in those digital spaces. They clink their cups and smile, each realizing they found a kindred spirit. In that cafe, they've not only shared their stories, but strengthened their resolve to create a digital world where everyone belongs. So that was the story or dialogue between Jasmine and Ebony that helps to set the tone for this lesson. And so with this first lesson, we have some level 1 prompts, meaning with each lesson, there's going to be a set of prompts that will allow us to dig deeper in terms of being able to think about what we want to consider throughout the lesson. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to open up a Word document so that I can jot down my responses to the prompts. And so level 1 prompts, reflect and write. Reflect on the following prompts and write out your responses. You will use them later on in the lesson. Spark curiosity and challenge assumptions. What excites you most about technology? Think about the areas or tools in tech that capture your interest. Is it storytelling through media, organizing data, creating visuals, or connecting with others? So for me, I'm going to write down what excites me about technology. I'm going to say enhancing opportunities to make connections between people, the issues they face as they journey through school and their careers, and finding tools, and I'll put technology in parentheses, that help them along their way. The tools either allow them to be more efficient, allow them to free up time, or allow them to be creative at a level that they would not be able to accomplish otherwise. And so what I'm going to do, just so I can keep this, I'm going to copy that prompt and keep it with my response so that when I reference it later, when I use our AI tool for exploring today, it will be there as a point of reference and to provide context. Okay, so the next question. When have you gone against the grain in your personal or professional life? Describe a time when you chose an unconventional path. What did you learn about yourself in that experience? Okay, so a time when I chose an unconventional path. So as a high school teacher, during my last year of teaching, my last year and a half, I'll say last year of teaching, my students used computers every day from the first day of school until the middle of February. By February, someone confronted me about it. I'll just say someone, parentheses, another teacher. And as a result, this is the short version. If you want to hear the long version, do I share it in my blog or in my, I don't know if I share it somewhere else, but I'm going to give the short version here and not a whole bunch of detail. So by February, someone, another teacher, confronted me about it and questioned why my students needed to use computers every day. I explained that they use it to do their work and thought to myself, I use a computer every day. When will they have the chance to learn how to use a computer regularly? What did I learn about myself? I learned that I was ahead of my time. This occurred before the COVID-19 pandemic, and interestingly enough, during the pandemic, when students had to do school remotely, I'll say attend school virtually. I'll just make a note. This confrontation took place in 2014, and the COVID-19 pandemic took place in 2020. Okay, and interestingly enough, during the pandemic, when students had to attend school virtually, the news headlines revealed that there was a significant gap in student technology skills and abilities to use the computer for schooling in that virtual space. Okay, so the next question, who are some people you admire in tech and why? List a few names, even if they're unconventional figures in tech. Focus on what inspires you about their story. What I'm going to do on the side, I'm going to enter Carmen Kennard. Okay, so on my Word document, I'm going to enter in Carmen Kennard. And the reason I admire her is because she revolutionized how I think about technology when it came to presenting information. And her name is spelled Kynard. And I say she revolutionized how I envision presenting information in a school setting because she was actually one of the guest speakers in a social justice and student success course that I served as a graduate teaching assistant. And when she presented and shared some of the presentations that were put together by her students, it just amazed me. And she pretty much said she told her students to put some stank on it when they created their presentations. And so after that presentation, one of the students who presented, she embodied that. Before that time, I had not witnessed a PowerPoint presentation that was jumping to the sound and the music of Brazil. And it was just amazing to me. There were moving pieces, the music was going, the story was being told by text and images, and it was unique in that the presentation it exuded the personality, the culture, the feeling of the individual who was presenting in a way that I had not experienced before in terms of watching a student present, and it was wonderful. And so with that, I made it a point that when I present information, that I make sure that I have something that definitely represents me when I'm presenting so that people can see whether it's my face or whether it's something that I've drawn. And so you'll see on the About page, I have characters that are drawings that I've created on my iPad. And so that's my aesthetic. The Black Liberation.Tech behind me, that's the closest font that I could find to my actual handwriting that is consistent. So that way, when I show Black Liberation.Tech, it's something that says, oh, that's font is interesting, is recognizable. It's like, okay, that's, if you go from one platform to the next, you'll see my drawings, you'll see that font. And so that's what Carmen Kennard did for me. She revolutionized how I envision presenting information in school settings through personalization and expression of one's culture. Focus on what inspires you about their approach. I'm just going to do one name for the sake of time, and I think I did that. Cultivate curiosity and challenge assumptions through personal experiences. What topics or hobbies do you naturally gravitate towards? Think about what holds your attention outside of work. How does curiosity drive you in these areas, and what skills or knowledge could carry over to a tech setting? So I'll have to say that I naturally gravitate towards projects that are done by hand. And I'll say, for example, taking down so replacing a microwave with an exhaust vent. These are some projects that I've done. Replacing an over the oven microwave with an exhaust vent. I was not using the microwave, and when it stopped working, I decided to just go ahead and get an exhaust vent instead of that. And another example, something that I've done by hand, I've installed tile, a backsplash, installing tile, backsplash. And another thing that I've done, I've also painted two murals. I'll just say painted a mural in my living room. Painted a mural in my living room. Okay, so these areas, okay. How does curiosity drive you in these areas? Reason curiosity drives me in these areas is that I want to know how things work. I would want to be able to take them apart and put something else together in its place. Okay. And then I also have an artistic and creative nature that I like to see for myself. So I really create art for myself. Whether or not others enjoy it, that's nice, but I'm not actually producing it in order to create for other people. I like to create things myself in order for me to see it and for me to enjoy. And so I'm going to write that down. I also have a creative knack, and I like to see what I can produce and enjoy it for myself and share it with others. Describe a time when you took a non-traditional path to accomplish something important to you. Reflect on what motivated you to take this path and how it impacted your view of success. What did you discover about your resourcefulness and resilience? This is a lot. So I'm going to do a short version as much as possible. So I took an unconventional path to becoming a teacher. By going through a resident teacher program, I had to quit my job in order to shadow a teacher during summer school and attend the different sessions on reading, comprehension, and learning, and pedagogy. This was a risk in that I needed to be successful to gain employment as a teacher at the end of the summer. And then the other part is, what did you discover about your resourcefulness or resilience? I learned that I was resourceful in that I was able to stretch a meager budget to hold me over the summer, and that I was resilient in my pursuit by seeing it through to the end and put forth the necessary effort to be successful. All right, so that is that. The next prompt, it says, who do you look up to outside of tech and why? Consider people whose values, achievements, or perspectives inspire you. How might their qualities guide your own career approach? All right, so I'm going to go back to someone else that I talked about last time, but this time I'm going to add some meat to it. Last time I just wrote her name. And so the person that I look up to outside of tech is Maya Angelou, because she's an amazing woman. She's done a lot of things, from being a writer to a dancer to a performer to a professor. And she began with little, in that the town she was from was small, and became a well-known, well-traveled, and well-loved, famous, I'll just say famous writer. I'll stop there. How might their qualities guide your own career approach? Maya Angelou's qualities might guide my own career approach by not setting limits, by encouraging me to not set limits on my trajectory based on where I started in life and the resources that I have at my disposal. And I'll put, there are ways of getting things done, expanding horizons, and living that transcend limitations. All right, so that's that. Okay, so lesson 1, cultivating curiosity and challenging assumptions. Objective: to help participants tap into curiosity, explore unconventional career paths, and challenge assumptions about tech careers. Reflect on curiosities and passions. Using the level 1 prompts, answer the following questions to identify what excites you about tech, areas of natural interest, and any non-traditional paths you have explored in life or work. Who are some people you admire, inside or outside tech? Why? What excites you about technology? What topics or hobbies do you naturally gravitate towards? Challenging assumptions. Reflect on what assumptions you or others have made about tech careers. How do your unique skills or life experiences challenge these assumptions? So I would say that if I were to reflect on the assumptions about tech careers, one assumption is that you have to get a bachelor's in computer science in order to do anything with tech. Here's an assumption. You have to get a bachelor's. How do your unique skills or life experiences challenge these assumptions? Okay, so me specifically, I was able to become an instructional technologist without a degree in computer science, let alone a degree in instructional technology. I became an instructional technologist before I got into the instructional technology PhD program. So I'll write that down. I was able to become an instructional technologist before going to school for a PhD, because of the tech exposure that I had as a result of shadowing a IT help desk professional over the summer before my senior year of high school, as a result of working in IT for 2 years in my undergraduate school, and as a result of helping my fellow teachers as a teacher with the technology that we had to use in the classroom, as well as my experience with MySpace. So that's how I have the ability to edit HTML, at least. I was able to use all of those things, as well as my other experiences with tech, in order to demonstrate to those interviewing me that I was capable of being an instructional technologist. So I'm just going to write all that down. Because I shadowed an IT help desk person the summer before my senior year, worked as an IT help desk person at my college for 2 years as federal work study, as well as trained co-workers, and I'll put at a property management company, as well as trained, I'll say, students and co-workers as a teacher on how to use and integrate technology, my experience, HTML on MySpace. I was able to become an instructional technologist without formal training. And I'll put /schooling. So next, using your reflections from the prompts, create a ChatGPT prompt that will help you explore ways to explore tech based on your personal interests and natural curiosity. Here's an example. ChatGPT, based on my interest in, list the hobbies, and my desire to describe any unconventional paths, what are some tech-related careers I could explore that align with these interests? So I'm going to stop sharing for a moment. I'm going to head on over to my ChatGPT. I'm going to open up a new conversation. All right. Now that I have a new conversation open, I'm going to share my screen with you all. Okay, so this is the new conversation, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the text from my Word document that I've been writing everything down in, and I'm going to develop a very rich prompt for ChatGPT. And I say very rich because I'm going to go beyond just the prompt and actually include all of those notes that I took down to hopefully inform ChatGPT of more information about me specifically, so that it's not just a general response. So I'll say, use the following as context. And I'm going to paste all of that. Do some spell checking as I scroll. Help desk. We'll make that 2 words. Okay. Using the above information, I'm going to go back to this prompt. I'm going to copy it. And I'm going to say, using the above information as context, ChatGPT based on my interest in, and I'll say, using my hands to build, or I'm going to say, where it says areas of excitement, I'm going to put in parentheses, using technology to help others enhance opportunities, efficiencies. Here we go. Efficiencies, solve problems. I'll say problem solving. Using technology to help others enhance opportunities, efficiencies, problem solving, and creativity, etc. And my desire to, I'll say, use unconventional paths to achieve, such as alternative programs, to achieve desired goals and skill sets. What are some tech-related careers I could explore that align with these interests? Now, do you see how this is a far more detailed prompt than just hitting the button on that last sentence? So what we're going to do, we're going to hit submit and see what ChatGPT comes up with. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy this over to my Word document to save it for later, and I'll actually update the post, or I'll put something that notes that it's like take 2 or something, so that you all know that it's not the first time, because I did a shorter version the first time, and so that's posted in my Patreon. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to talk about the things that I have not already listed before in terms of the previous lesson. So in the previous lesson, C 1.0, career explorations, or exploration of career interests, I already had UX experience designer / researcher, educational technology specialist, had that already, instructional designer with tech focus. Okay, We already did that one, or I've already covered that one. This one is new. Product Manager Tech Focus, why it fits. Product management involves organizing data, understanding user needs, and developing solutions that drive efficiency and creativity. Your ability to lead projects and solve problems unconventionally would be a significant asset. Potential focus areas: you could work on education technology products, project management tools, or other tech products that promote productivity and collaboration. All right, tech consultant / implementation specialist, why it fits. Your knack for troubleshooting and implementing systems could be put to use by consulting with organizations to streamline operations or integrate new technology solutions. Your resourcefulness and adaptability would enable you to customize solutions for different needs. Potential projects: helping schools or small businesses transitions to cloud-based systems or setting up data-driven platforms to optimize efficiency. Okay, data visualization specialist. This one is new. Why it fits. You enjoy organizing information and presenting it in compelling ways. Data visualization specialists use tools to transform complex data sets into visual stories, helping others understand and make decisions based on data. Potential applications: creating dashboards for nonprofits to track impact, or designing visual reports that make academic or community data accessible and actionable. I like that. Next, creative technologist, fabrication specialist, why it fits. Your love for hands-on projects like installing tile or building creative displays makes fabrication or working in maker spaces an exciting possibility. This could involve using 3D printing, laser cutting, and other fabrication technologies to create prototypes and artistic pieces. Potential impact: working in educational or community maker spaces to teach digital fabrication or collaborating with artists and engineers on creative tech-driven projects. Okay. AI and machine learning enthusiast, why it fits. Given your interest in AI, you could explore roles related to developing AI-driven tools that improve learning or increasing productivity. Your background in education could provide unique insights into creating algorithms that cater to educational or creative needs. Potential projects: developing adaptive learning platforms that customize content for students, or building productivity tools powered by AI. Interesting. I think we're onto something. Community technology advocate. We had something similar in a previous response. And then tech project manager for nonprofits / education. I think we had something similar to that too. So those are my results for that. The last step here is to identify role models. Search for women on LinkedIn or Instagram who align with your passions or have taken unconventional tech paths. Use search terms related to your interests, example, creative technologists, digital media strategists. Follow and note any insights or paths they have taken that resonate with you. So what I would do in this next step, and because it involves searching and looking up people, and that's not exactly what I want to do right now in front of everyone, but I could do it on my own, I would go back and take a look at those things that were new and see who I could find. So for a product manager with a tech focus, I could take a look at by doing some searches there. Tech consultant, implementation specialist, data visualization specialist, creative technologist / fabrication specialist, AI and machine learning enthusiast. And so those are the titles that I would plug in for my search. And so hopefully you've enjoyed this module and it's provided you with another way of looking at things. Thank you for tuning in to the Black Liberation.Tech podcast, brought to you by Jordan Nuance LLC and hosted by Dr. Renée Jordan. We hope today's episode has inspired you and provided valuable insights to help you navigate your academic and professional journey with confidence and success. Remember to like, subscribe, and share, as well as rate and review the podcast to help it become more discoverable. Whether you're guiding a child through grades 6 through 12, tackling undergraduate or graduate studies, working on a dissertation or thesis, or exploring your career options, this podcast is here to support you every step of the way. Join our community on patreon.com/Black Liberation.Tech and become a member for as low as $5 per month. As a member, you'll enjoy exclusive access to live recordings, impromptu academic and career coaching, and a network of like-minded individuals committed to mutual support and success. Don't forget to follow Black Liberation.Tech on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and LinkedIn. Visit black-liberation.tech for even more information on Dr. Jordan's adventures, available in both English and Spanish. Stay inspired, stay empowered, and keep moving forward. Until next time, take care. Bye-bye.